Are you all new to Chat GPT, or have you been using it before?
I'm new to it.
You're new, Rod? Yep.
Yep.
I think you're on mute, Ottie. Do you want to just, your microphone's not on, Ottie?
Yeah, I'm new to it too.
You're new as well? Okay, great. And I think we have Zoe from Southern Rivers. Hi, Zoe.
Hi, Vanessa. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And here we have Ivy. Hi, Ivy. Nice to see you here today. Thank you so much for joining us. There's Gail. Hi, Gail. Nice to see you.
I'm sorry. Pleased to meet you all. I was on a phone call. I'm really sorry.
No, listen, not at all. So I was just saying, just to everyone who's just joined us in the last second, we'll get going in a sec. Please feel free to leave your microphone on if you would like to ask any questions. This is a very casual webinar. I want it to be interactive. So if I'm doing anything, you want to ask a question, just jump in. We'll try and make it as useful as possible. So let's get going, guys. I'm just going to share with you. We're going to have two things to look at today. So a little bit of background just on a document, and then we're actually going to jump into Chat GPT and do a few things live as well. So let me just share this with you. Can everyone see this presentation?
Yes.
Okay, great. So just to start off with, given that most of the people on this webinar today are quite new to Chat GPT, I thought it wouldn't hurt just to have a little bit of a breakdown of what Chat GPT is, so you can have a bit of an overview. So this is OpenAI. OpenAI is the company that produces Chat GPT, and that's where you'll be signing up when you log in and create your free account. So this is me. Caroline is here as well. I just didn't have a photo of her today, but so I'm the general manager at Two Brownies. We specialise in helping NDIS service providers. We're a digital agency, and we've been looking at AI a lot internally. And I just thought every time we looked at something, I thought to myself, oh, my clients could really use this, or oh, I would love our clients to know about this or that. So that's why I decided to do this this prezzo today. So yes, Caroline's on here as well. So this is what we're going to be covering. Probably won't take an hour, but if you're happy to stick around for another 5 minutes after, let's have a bit of a Q&A. And just have a chat about how you think you might be able to use Chat GPT in your own business. And I'd love to answer any questions that you might have. So what is Chat GPT? We're just going to break it down in really simple terms, how you get going with it, how you sign up and how you use it. Again, in very simple terms, I wanted to make sure that everything I'm offering you today, you can do for free. So there's no paid tools involved, and it's really easy sign up. There's nothing complex. Everything is browser based, just to make things super simple and no cost. And then we're going to get into 4 key areas where I think Chat GPT could be of use to NDIS service providers. So we're going to talk about socials, outreach, emails, that kind of thing within your operations, which is really important internally, how it might help you, and also when you're doing research. So we're going to swap from this view to actually looking at Chat GPT and go through some of these real life examples. Now, just to let everyone know, don't worry too much about taking a whole heap of notes. Caroline has very nicely put together a document for us, and every prompt that I enter into Chat GPT and every process we go through will be in that document, and you're going to get that straight after the webinar. And that's just so that whatever prompts we end up using, it always changes a little bit. I just want to make sure we incorporate the latest into the document. So I will be getting in touch with all of you by email to give you that document to take away. So don't worry about note taking and all that stuff. It's all taken care of. So what is Chat GPT? So it's essentially a computer program, also known as a large language model. So it talks and understands like a human. So you literally talk to it or type to it the way you would if you were talking to a human, and it can take your input and give you stuff in response. That's what it is. It's a computer program, and it understands context. So it's good at figuring out what you mean. It doesn't care about your spelling mistakes. It doesn't care if you've worded stuff in the most professional manner. It's just really good at sussing out what you're actually trying to get it to do. So it is quite human-like in that way, and it can give you helpful answers. So it can either write stuff for you, give you answers to questions, order things, list things in certain ways. We're going to go through all of this, but it's really useful. It can help with all kinds of different jobs. So as I said, it can write for you, it can answer questions, and it's actually pretty good at giving advice, you know, about anything. It's really good at decision making, which we're not covering today. But if you're ever grappling with a decision, I would really highly recommend that you ask Chat GPT, and it can work through some of the pros and cons with you. It's really easy to use, which is so important. You don't want something that's expensive and hard to navigate. So you by no means have to be a coder or anything like that. It's just really easy to use. If you can type with one finger, you can use Chat GPT, and it's always learning. So the reason it's out there for free is so that the creators of Chat GPT can get input from all these people around the world to make Chat GPT better. So every time you interact with Chat GPT, it's learning about what you like and dislike, and it's becoming better as a computer program as a result. That's essentially what it is. A few limitations, and we will touch on this as we go along. It's not perfect, and I hope to give you some examples of where it's not perfect, just so you come away with a good sense of things. It can sometimes give you stuff that you didn't expect, and sometimes that means you can ask it better questions and refine things as you go. Sometimes it's just plain wrong. Not very often, but we always like to advise people when you're using Chat GPT, just apply your own human logic to what it's giving you. Just make sure you're comfortable that what it's giving you sounds reasonable and right. It can struggle sometimes with sensitive topics. This is particularly in our industry, in the disability sector. You want to make sure when you're using it, again, you just apply your human logic and make sure that it's referring to these kinds of topics in a way that a human would find respectful. It can't replace humans. It's a tool for us. It's a really great assistant, but it's not set and forget. So what it's giving you, you will, again, want to apply your own unique skills and expertise over the top of that. And I'll explain what I mean by this. And most importantly here, ChatGPT was trained by the people at OpenAI on information all across the internet up until 2021. So anything beyond that time, it might not know about. So just keep that in mind. But I do have a solution for that at the end, how we can get AI to work for us on more recent info. So that's the limitations. Easy to sign up. I'm actually not going to go through the sign up process just because I want to focus today on how great it can be for us, but I have put that in the briefing document. It's a really simple process. You go to this URL and it's literally like everything else. You give it a username and a password, give it your email. It sends a link to your email to validate, yes, this is the right email, and then you're in. I've actually written a blog about it as well, and all of this is in the briefing document. So you'll be able to get started in just a couple of minutes is all it takes. Using Chat GPT, I wanted to give you this context up front so that when we do look at it, you'll be able to keep all of this in mind. I would really recommend, I think it's that useful that you probably just want to keep it open in a browser tab all day. And that way it's there, you can refer to it, you can ask it questions, get it to write stuff. We've got someone here, let me just admit someone else. Can everyone still hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Hi, Rati. Nice to have you on board. We're just going through some of the background to Chat GPT. We are recording this, so if anyone needs the recording afterwards as well, you will have that. So you can always watch the first 20 minutes at a later time. So yeah, keep it open. It's a great tool, and if you've got it there, you're more likely to use it. As I said, use it as a first draft and then refine the content from there, because it's always good to have that human polish at the end. And you start a new chat for each new topic, and I'll show you what that means. One more person coming in, just bear with me. Hi, Rogers, good to have you on board today. We're just talking about Chat GPT. Everyone just jump in with questions if you have them. This is a very casual, very interactive sort of a webinar. So I'll keep going. So you just literally chat with Chat GPT as you would a human. That's all there is to it. You're just going to talk to them like you would the person sitting next to you. And again, don't use it if you need an answer that relies on information after 2021, which we've talked about. So that's enough background. Let's get into it. So let me just swap over, just one sec. Okay, I'm just going to swap to Chat GPT. Can everyone see this screen, this Chat GPT screen with me?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So once you've signed up to Chat GPT, this is the screen that you'll have in front of you. It's very simple. I'm just going to move that out of the way. You type stuff here and it will give you answers up here. Just a little bit on this, you'll see that I use it quite a lot. These are all what's known as chats down the left-hand side. Every time you want to start a new topic, a new task, something that's new that doesn't rely on the history in the conversation, you'll start a new chat. And I'll show you what that means. So when you sign up and log in, you won't see anything down here until you start using Chat GPT. The only other thing I would say is you want to start, GPT 3.5 is the free version. So I'm sticking with that today. I do have the paid version, but I want to show you exactly what you would get when you're using it yourself. Very easy screen. Now, I wanted to start with socials. Sorry, let me just admit Ryan, I think we have. Hi, Ryan, nice to see you. Welcome today. You've missed the first little bit. So we're just talking now about socials, and you'll be able to go back and see the front of this and how we've eased into this and how to get started with Chat GPT. But you've literally come at a good time because we're about to look at some examples of how to use Chat GPT. First off, social media. I know for NDIS providers, this can be a real pain, right? It's something that, you know, it's hard to keep on top of. It requires writing skill. It requires you to come up with new ideas all the time. it can just be a pain. Does anyone kind of agree with me on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very
Yeah,
much.
so yeah, and so you either end up ignoring it, maybe you do a post once a week, once a month, hoping that that's enough to kind of keep things going. And it's tough. You know, NDIS providers like you guys come from the care sector. You're not marketing people, so it is hard to keep on top. And that's where Chat GPT can really help with ideas, with writing your posts. I just wanted to give you a first prompt. So I'm about to type in here this prompt. Now I've just cut and paste that, so you're not waiting for me to type all this, and you'll get this whole history, so don't worry about taking notes. But as you can see, this is what's known as a prompt. Whatever you type in here is a prompt. And I've told ChatGPT that I'm an NDIS service provider running Facebook and Instagram. Talk to me about days of the year. You know, what are the posts that we could create that relate to certain days of the year? You know, when it's like Happy World, you know, whatever, chocolate day or whatever it might be. We want ChatGPT to suggest some of those days for us. So I would literally just hit go, and ChatGPT does its thing very quickly, as you can see, and it will come up with suggestions on what we can create for our social posts. So Nurses Day, they're pretty useful, right? Most of these, you know, can be quite useful. And it suggested other ones as well that we might like. So this is the start of the conversation, but the great thing about ChatGPT is that you just keep going, right? You might look at that and go, actually, that's a great list. I'm happy with that. Why don't I ask you to just go ahead and write those posts? Or you might ask it, you know, to get rid of certain ones or whatever it might be. So let me just tell ChatGPT, it's actually 14 days, isn't it? Yeah, could you please write a post for each of these 14 days? Please use friendly and casual tone and include relevant hashtags and emojis. So we're actually asking ChatGPT to come up with 14 posts that we can use on Facebook or Insta. And here we go. It's actually writing these posts for us. Someone's got their mic on with some noise in the background and some typing. Would you mind just muting your microphone for us? I'm not sure who that might be. Is there someone typing at the moment? Yeah, that's it. Oh, no, are we there? Yeah, thank you so much, whoever that was. So it's coming up with stuff that's actually pretty good. What do we think? Is this something you think might be useful?
Yes.
Yeah. So the thing I love about it for socials is it's giving you the hashtags, it's giving you the emojis. You can literally, you've got the date, you can literally highlight, cut and paste into your socials and you're good to go. So this is example one. It's really good at social media posts, but we can take it a bit further. Let me think about something else we could use for social media. So what about you want to say, you know, you want to do some posts about the NDIS. Maybe there are some interesting facts. You want to sort of celebrate the NDIS, let people know what it's all about and celebrate what it does. So this is the kind of prompt that we might use for that. So we're still in the same chat because this is all about social media. ChatGPT knows who we are already from up here when we You know, we've said we're an NDIS service provider. So every time you interact, you don't have to repeat all this stuff within the same chat. It will remember. So that's why we can now say, what about the NDIS? Let's do some posts about interesting facts. Can you suggest 10 little known facts about the NDIS? And again, it will come up with things that it thinks are interesting facts about the NDIS. Now, we might look at these and say, yeah, they're okay. Some of them are a little bit boring, like this one, a little bit boring. We're looking for different kinds of facts, a little bit boring, maybe. So what we can do is keep talking to Chat GPT. And what we would do, what I would do anyway, is just go back in, and I would just remember you're talking to Chat GPT like they're a human. So I would be inclined to say, let's write these again. We want to be really specific rather than making broad statements. So specific facts about the NDIS. What are some interesting things that ordinary people might not know? And then tailor the hashtags accordingly. Is this all making sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So if we hit go,
Yep.
it can now improve upon what it just gave us based on our further input. So we can see, you know, that's already a little bit, that's better. Yeah, we're starting to get real numbers here. This is actually pretty good, isn't it? You know, 28 million hours of support, 3,200 years. That's fun stuff. That might actually work out well. 11,000 assistive technology items. These are all fun things you might want to share. And they're just literally ready to go. You can just copy and paste because you've got all your emojis, all of your hashtags, everything is ready to go. So that is suggesting posts. What about if you want to promote your business? This is another area where you might want to write some posts for Facebook. So I would say this. I always like to be polite with ChatGPT. I don't know if it needs it, but I always say please and thank you. So assume you can tell it your business name. You can say my business is ABC Care, and these are the supports that we offer. Please write 10 posts that I could use to promote these services. You can talk about more than one service at a time, mix it up. Please be friendly and casual. And we want to let ChatGPT know that we've got a 1300 number, or we might want to drive people to the website, and use Aussie spelling. Sometimes it will use American spelling. So you're literally giving it instructions, and the more detailed the instruction, the better. So again, you just let it do its thing, and it will come up with some posts that you can use across social media to promote your business. And so you might cut and paste one of these, put it into Facebook or Instagram with a link to your website underneath, something like that. So it can absolutely do that as well. Whatever you want it to do, it will give you some output. Let me just give you one last example. So when it comes to socials, say that you need quite an individual post. Maybe you've got a new person has joined your team, and you want ChatGPT to write a post just based on this one fact that you need to promote. So in this case, Han is coming into the team. He's a support coordinator in our Perth office. Write a post about this. We hit go, and there we go. You know, we get the little celebration emoji here. We welcome Han to the office, or Han's actually a male, so we might say that, you know, we might tell Chat GPT, no, Hans a male, please try that again. So that's where, you know, the human interaction comes in. You just want to make sure that it's giving you what you need, but it's actually pretty good, right? It writes well, and in a lot of cases, better than we could come up with on the spot. It's not always easy to be creative, and Chat GPT is a terrific way of coming up with ideas and just getting the ball rolling for you. We've got our hashtags here. They're all pretty good. You know, I think it comes up with good suggestions. So it is possible. Let me just go back. I just would love to see your faces. Let me just go here and stop sharing. So it really is possible to use ChatGPT even within half an hour or an hour. You could literally have enough posts to keep you going for the whole month if you needed to. So it's a really good way of keeping your socials looking busy and looking updated without a lot of pain. Does anyone find that useful?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah, awesome.
Most definitely.
Sorry, Rod, go ahead.
Most definitely.
Yay, awesome. Okay. And look, if you've got any questions, by all means, we can address some of those at the end or as we go along. So that's socials. Let me move on to our next one, and I'm just going to have a look here. So this is more about business development, and we won't spend a lot of time on this, but I just wanted to show you how ChatGPT can help you write your emails. Another area, right, where it can just be a pain when you've got to start and you're just looking at a blank screen. It can be hard to come up with the right words, no matter whether it's an internal email, you're trying to reach out to potential partners in the industry, whatever it is. With ChatGPT open on your browser all day, you can literally tell it what you want to say in very messy language if you want to, and it will write an email for you. So let me just give you a quick example on this. So I'm just going to use the example. Say you want to, I'm going to start a new chat now because this has all been about socials. We could keep going. There's nothing wrong. You can't break the system. But given that it's a new topic and a new way of thinking, we're going to start a new chat. So you just hit new chat and tell ChatGPT what you want to do. And this is the prompt that I've come up with. So I'm an NDIS provider called ABC Care. This is who I am. I want to start some cold email outreach to support coordinators, plan managers, community stakeholders, allied health providers in my area of Melbourne to introduce them to the business and just see if we can work together as referral partners. This is my website and this is my phone number. Could you please write an introduction email I could use to send to people in the above cohorts? Please use a friendly and conversational tone, nothing too stuffy, no more than 3 short paragraphs. And again, please use Aussie spelling. So again, ChatGPT will come up with something for you. Now, I would immediately look at that and think, there's no way I'm going to start an email with hi there. So again, this is where your human brain sort of comes in over the top of ChatGPT, but 90% of it is fine and it's great and it gives you a starting point. And the great thing I love about ChatGPT is it gives you some placeholders too. So it knows that you've given it incomplete information and it gives you stuff like this, right? Where you can just input your own stuff. Our services include support coordination, personal assist, you know, whatever it might be. I'd love to have the opportunity to chat with you about how we could work together. Here's my number. I hope to hear from you soon, right? So again, it can kind of get you 95% of the way there, and then you can just tweak it. You might decide dear Anne is a better, salutation rather than hi there. Or you can actually tell Chat GPT you'd like it to be a little more formal. So you can say, I like this email. Please make it 10% more formal in language. Something like that. And you just get it to tweak. And it will actually do what you ask it to. So you just keep refining and give it input, and it will adjust accordingly. So that was just a little example, but literally emails could be internal, external. I was talking to Otti about this the other day, Otti, about outreach and getting your name out there and touching base with all potential partners in your community. Great way to start is just get ideas from Chat GPT, and it can write most of those for you. So again, I'll stop sharing there. We've got more examples. I just want to make sure that everyone's still okay. Let me go back here. I know we're going through a lot, but I just want to make sure that we cover off everything. And please just yell out at me if you've got any questions here. This is a really interesting one for NDIS providers. I really want to spend a few minutes on this. This is where you can save time internally. So plans and service agreements, all the stuff that you need to write as an NDIS provider. And let me just give you again some examples here. So again, we're going to start a new chat just because this is another shift in mindset. And I'm going to where are we? So I've used the example. Yes, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we can't see the screen that you're sharing.
You can't?
No.
Okay, just one
No, I
sec.
can't as well.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Let me, is everyone on Chat GPT
Yep.
now?
Yep.
Awesome,
Yes.
thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank you.
Thanks, Otti. We're going to talk about welcome packs, just as an example, right? I want to show you what we can do. Sorry, I am just, yeah, there we go. So, you know how, I'm sure all of you are up and running now, so you've probably got your welcome packs in place, but this can relate to your policies. You know how the NDIA is always coming out with new stuff. It wants you to have a policy on, privacy or whatever it might be. And so you're always needing to adapt and update. And I want this to be a useful example. So again, we're starting from scratch. We're telling it who we are at ABC Care. We provide core supports, capacity building and SIL services. I want to create some onboarding documents and I'd like your help to write these. We'll take this in stages because onboarding documents, you want them to be professional, you want them to be detailed. I've added a bit more nuance to this prompt. And this is the great thing about Chat GPT. I'm going to get it to respond to questions as we go along. And I'm literally saying to it, do you understand? And you can ask it, right? If you have a few prompts that you want to give it, you're trying to do something that's got some nuance and detail to it, you can literally say, we'll take this in stages and I want you to ask me questions as we go along, Chat GPT. So that's what we would do. And it gives you this answer, right? It acknowledges that, yeah, I'd be happy to help you create these documents. Let's get started. Tell me more about the purpose and scope. What information are you looking to include? Are there any specific requirements? So here's one. So let's start with a policy. We want to outline our processes for how participants can provide feedback. And I know this is something the NDIA likes everyone to have. It's literally in their guidelines. You know, we want you to have processes in place for how people can raise concerns and how they can contact the NDIS Commission. So let's see what Chat GPT can come up with. And it's pretty good. It's a great start, you know, where it knows what you're trying to get at. That's the great thing about it. And it outlines some steps, right? To give feedback, you can talk to your support worker or your team leader. You can contact our complaints officer. It even makes up an email that it thinks might be applicable in this case, and you can obviously change that. And then we investigate and resolve the issue. And then, yes, you can contact the NDIS Commission. So if you're not satisfied, this is where you can go. And again, it gives you an email address at the NDIS Commission and the phone number to get in touch. So you're ticking off those boxes that the NDIA requires of you. And I love, it has these little touches, right? So it says, please note, making a complaint will not affect your services and your privacy. I think that's pretty awesome. I think there's a lot of different scenarios where this kind of help from Chat GPT could really assist. What do you think? Yeah.
Now the question is, will this be the same for everyone who uses ChatGPT? Is there any uniqueness, or is that something that we will customize?
It is always unique, Rati, and the reason it's always unique is because of what happens up here. So no two prompts are alike. And the smallest nuance can make a difference to the output that you're getting. So no two people are going to give it the same prompt. So even if you're asking for the same thing, you're very likely to ask for it in a slightly different way. So you'll get a slightly different output. So you can finesse, right? You don't have to stop there. You can ask it, for instance, about how you use personal information. So let's try that. So again, this is another section for our onboarding pack. And again, I've taken this straight from the NDIA. This is what they ask for. They like to see providers elaborate on this, you know, how information will be collected, how it will be stored, all of that thing. So if we hit go, again, it will come up with what it thinks is the kind of privacy process that you might have in place that you could put in your onboarding pack. Now, you can look at this and say, yeah, that's great. You might think, I kind of need this to be a little more comprehensive. So what I wanted to show you is what happens when we ask ChatGPT a question. So it's just given us a privacy document. Why don't we ask it, how could we make this better? And it will come up literally with really excellent suggestions as to how to make that better. But even more than that, you can then say to it, okay, if that's how we make it better, please write this document again, incorporating all of the suggestions above. So you're building and building versions of what you need. You're interacting with Chat GPT, and if we hit go, it will take into account all the suggestions it just offered and incorporate those into the document so that you end up with something better. So this is a really good way to use Chat GPT. If it comes up with something you think, oh, it's pretty good, but I'm not sure it's perfect, ask Chat GPT, how could we make this better? And it will come up with some really superb recommendations, and then you can say, okay, apply all of those, or I like point 1, 2, and 4, apply point 1, 2, and 4. And and it will keep updating as long as you need it to. But it's a great, again, it's just giving you that 90% to start with, and then you can go in, read it all and decide which bits are on point, which bits might need tweaking, and just apply that 5 or 10% human touch over the top. So that's example one for when it comes to using it internally. And another one that I just wanted to touch on is for any of you, I know we have some support coordinators and plan managers on call today, but I also know we have a lot of people who are directly providing disability support every day. So I just wanted to give you this as a very quick example. Say you are stuck for ideas. You've got a regular client that you see all the time, and you just want a bit of help deciding how to plan their day and how to support them. This is just a fun example. You can literally ask Chat GPT how to, prepare a meal plan for the day. So this might be good for your teams, right? Your team of support workers might get some use out of Chat GPT. So I want 3 meals. My participant is allergic to dairy. I want to include some vegetables and fruit. I don't want to cook in the morning. Lunch 20 minutes, dinner 30 minutes. Please only include ingredients that I can easily find, and I don't want to spend more than $10. So you're giving it all these parameters and asking it to come up with a meal plan for the day. And it can do that for you and your team. And it's pretty good, right? No cooked peanut butter oatmeal bowls for brekkie, chickpea salad sandwich, and you can keep going. So if you can say, oh, my participant doesn't like chickpeas, please suggest another dinner or whatever. But once you're happy, you can follow up, right? You're having a conversation, so you can say to it, great, create a shopping list for all of that stuff, not the common pantry stuff, but give me a shopping list, and it will. So it will come up with a list for you based on all the ingredients you need for the day, and hopefully under $10. So you can do all kinds of things with Chat GPT. If you were stuck for ideas, let me just come back to you all so that I can see your faces. So you can also use this, say you were stuck for ideas of what to do with your participant for the day. You might want to tell GPT, we're in Parramatta. I want to take my participant out for 4 hours today. Suggest somewhere within 10 kilometres of my address where I could take them for free that would give us an enjoyable outdoor, outing for 4 hours. And it will literally come up with some suggestions for you. You can use it in all kinds of ways to help plan your day and plan how you support your participants. Does that sound useful, do you think? Yeah?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Everyone can still hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. I've just got one more sort of example to run past you all. And I wanted to start by, I'm just going to, just bear with me. We're actually going to use another tool here. And I'm going to share the screen with you. So remember how I said Chat GPT is only trained on information up to 2021. So it's not great for when you need it to respond to recent facts and figures. And I'm going to suggest another tool that can do that for us. And this is it. Can everyone see?
Yes.
Perplexity? Great. Perplexity.ai is kind of like a search engine. Oh, someone's got a bit of background noise there. Okay, great. Perplexity is it's like a search engine that's got AI integrated. So you would use it like a search engine and ask it stuff, and it has access to the whole of the internet. So instead of like in Google, where you give it your keyword and it spits out a whole lot of websites that might help you, Perplexity will actually give you answers. So what I'd like to do is just give you a real world example of how you can use this to help with recent information. So this is the one, if you're looking for recent stuff, have perplexity.ai on your list. So here, you know how on the 5th of May we got some updates to the pricing arrangements? Instead of having to trawl through all the press releases, all the updated documents from the NDIS, you can literally ask perplexity.ai to summarise this for you. And I've asked it to give me a bullet list because I want it to be really quick and easy, and how they affect me as an NDIS service provider. So you're asking it and it's going to come up with an answer for you based on what it knows about what happened on May the 5th. And here it is. So again, it's giving you really good, succinct information in bullet point, you know, maximum duration, 12 to 6 months, price limit for some support items has increased, bereavement addendum. And the thing I love about perplexity.ai, it tells you where it's getting the information. So ideal plan, it's getting some of the information direct from the NDIS here and some from the ABC. And then you can go to the little footnote here and see where this particular point has come from so that you know whether to trust that information or not. But it's just really handy. You just, as an NDIS provider, you're all bombarded with so much sort of regulation, I guess, and so many updates to policies and guidelines and legislation. Perplexity.ai is just a really good way of keeping on top of that without it becoming onerous. So I just wanted to throw that in there just as an add-on. So you wouldn't use Chat GPT for this stuff. It will, if you asked Chat GPT about something that happened on May 5th, it would literally come back to you and says, I'm an AI model only trained up to 2021. I can't help you with that. So just keep Perplexity AI in mind for recent stuff. It can be really, really useful. So let me just come back to you guys. I'm going to stop sharing there. What do you think? There's been an overwhelming amount of information there, but can you see how it might be a good assistant to have open during the day?
Absolutely.
I use it a lot. I mean, I'm sort of partly in the disability sector, but also web design, of course, and I have it open all the time to give me ideas for new titles and paragraphs on websites and all kinds of stuff. It's not an end in itself. It always needs a little bit of human tweaking, but it can cut down the time you need to take to try and be creative from hours to minutes. Let me just go back to our presentation just for a sec. So yeah, Perplexity AI, sorry. So this will all be in the notes so you know exactly where to go to. Just a few last tips and then if anyone's got questions, I'm certainly here. So just be as specific as possible. So the more detail you provide, the better Chat GPT will be. So for instance, you would never say, you know, write me an introduction email. It doesn't know what you mean. You need to tell it, I'm an NDIS provider. I'm reaching out to support coordinators or allied health providers or whatever. I want them to know my my phone number and my website address, and I want to explore a partnership. That gives Chat GPT a lot more to work with, and it will give you a much better result. So be as specific as you can, and you can do it in stages, as we said. If you don't like the first output, you can tell it, you know, I don't think you were detailed enough. Please try that again, but make it longer and more specific, and it will. Treat it as a first draft. Always, you know, apply your own best common sense over the top to optimize it and make it as human as you want to be. Check your facts. Just because ChatGPT has been known to get stuff wrong. Perplexity AI, not so much, because it is grabbing information, recent information from places that it is citing. So you know where it's coming from and you know what to trust it. But with ChatGPT, it's a little different. It's only trained up to 2021. So just make sure if it's giving you facts and figures, just cast your eye over them. Make sure that they're correct. Continue refining, as we said. So each prompt leads to more updates and more refinements, and ChatGPT will remember your conversation. So you don't have to repeat yourself all the time. You just build on what you've given it. Lastly, I don't yet recommend ChatGPT for SEO or blog posts on your website. It can be tempting to think, oh, I'll just get ChatGPT to write me a 2,000-word blog post that I can put on my website and I can, you know, rank really well for, you know, supported independent living in Parramatta or whatever it might be. We don't quite recommend that yet. Google is, we still are not a bit nervous in the industry, in my industry, about how Google treats AI content on your website. It has said that it doesn't care whether content is AI written, as long as it's useful and helpful, but I don't quite trust it yet. It may change, and so not quite yet for on your website if you're looking to rank well. I'd hate you to use this on your website and then find down the track that Google's going to penalise you because you've used some AI content on your website. But literally every other scenario, go for it. It can be a really fantastic tool. Has anyone got any questions? Let me just come back to you all. Just one sec. Is there anything I can answer for you? Anyone got any observations? What?
I don't have any questions. That was a really good presentation of something that I've been getting coerced to utilise, but just haven't had the time, you know, to sit through it and learn it. And I thank you so much for that.
Oh, you're so welcome, Gail. You're so well, all of you. I'm so thrilled. Listen, what I'd love is your feedback. Even a lot of you are already our dear valued clients, but Gail and Henry and Clarence and Jason, all of you who I haven't met yet, please do keep in touch. I want to do these kind of value add webinars regularly, and it literally does not matter if you're a client or not a client. It just can be really helpful. So have a think, if there are other aspects of marketing or websites or business process efficiencies, anything at all that you think we could help with, let's do a webinar about it. You know, I'm here to help, and I think there's a lot that we could discuss about what's happening in this space. So please do keep in touch. I will send out the notes. And let me just give you, I'm sure most of you do know this, but this is just who we are. Most of you know that this is our website here. Please call anytime, ask Vanessa. I'm always around. If I can't take your call, I'll get back to you very shortly. This is our website. Check it out. We're here to help. We're on the socials. And yeah, I would really love to do more of this on topics that would really add some value. So I'm very, very open to suggestions, guys. Would love to hear from you. Let me just come back to you all. So nothing else?
Thank
No
you.
one's got a...
Thank you very much. That was very informative. Really, a
Excellent.
very, very good session.
Thank you, Vanessa.
You're so welcome,
Bye.
everyone. Leave it with me and I will send the notes to you all very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
a lot.
guys.
Bye.
Great to meet you all. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
There's gonna be by the